Hey up everybody, welcome back to Velogames. Coming at you with another Super Classico video. Not sure what round it is, I've lost track already. I think it might be round 6. It's E3 Saxo Bank Classic, E3 Howbecker, whatever you want to call it. We of course got missed out last year, but we're back. It's a great prep for anybody who's looking to do well in Flanders, because it's probably one of the hardest semi-classics race that there is. I mean, I'm not sure how it isn't just an actual, semi-classic, actual classic. I don't really know what the difference is. I'm here to tell you about who you can pick on your teams. I've spent quite a bit of time actually deliberating over this. This has been quite a tricky one for me. The previous ones have been a bit easier to choose, but kind of Van der Poel and Van Aert, of course, not winning Milan San Remo has cast a bit of doubt over my mind. So I'm just going to go through who we think. I've got 3 team options for you today, so I'm just going to get straight in there before I realise I'm running out of time. So option number 1 that I'm seeing is you pick, again it's what we'll call the safe option, you pick Wout van Aert and Mathieu van der Poel, and then your third rider you can pick is probably, you can pick quite a lot of people, but I'm going to go with, I think it has to be a 20 pointer or an 18 pointer, but I prefer the look of the 20 pointers overall, so you can pick any of them really who you like the look of. We will pick, for the purposes of this, we'll pick, I don't know, Pollitt. And then take off Stefan Kung. That was just a bit of a placeholder. And you put on a 4 pointer. 4 pointers aren't great, but I think if you have to choose one, maybe go with, where is he? It's the X guy. Jonas Iverberg Hivdeberg. Of course, I don't know how to say it, but yeah. You can pick him and then put on a 6 pointer instead. And that will be one team. Of course, I'll change the 6 pointers up. I think your best 6 pointers that you can go with are either Genietz, Simmons, Quinn Simmons, or Amund Glordal Janssen for Bike Exchange. I think those are your 3 best. Or there's also some guy from Bengal called like Livens. Where is he? There he is. Pick either one of those 4 riders as your 6 pointers. 4 pointers go to Hivdeberg just because he looked okay at Kern Brussels Kern. This is the safe option. This is you picking the 2 favourites because you think that one of them's going to win. By all means, that's safe. I don't think it'll score you the highest amount of points, but it covers your bases and means that you're just going to very safely rack up a couple of 100 points. Option number 2 is you pick one of these riders, Wout van Aert or Van der Poel. We'll go with Wout van Aert for this example. And you remove Van der Poel and you put on a 22 pointer. We'll go with Lampard for this example. Keep on the 20 pointer as your third rider. And then make your 4th rider a 14 pointer, who I believe the best one is Jake Stewart. There are some other ones. There's Christopher Halverson, Jesper de Boist, Sven-Erik Bistrom. But in my eyes, I think Jake Stewart is probably the best of those, especially after his Omloop Het Nieuws Bad Blood performance. They do have Stefan Kung here as well, so you're kind of taking a bit of a risk that maybe he's not the protected rider. But I think with 14 points, it's quite it's a fairly low risk. I feel like he could at a push get a top 10, more than likely scoring like a top 20 or something, I'm guessing, or he'll just crack and get points, in which case I'm sorry that you put him on, and I'm sorry that I suggested it. That would be option number 2. Again, pick your options of 6 pointers: Genietz, Simmons, Livens, or Amund Glordal Janssen. Either one of those 2. It's hard to say who's going to do better, to be honest with you. I just know that those are the best ones. Probably don't bother looking at any other ones unless you're thinking about assist points. So that's option number 2. You go with one of the big favourites, 2 kind of semi-favourites, Jake Stewart as an outsider, and then 2 6 pointers as a bit of a Hail Mary, I guess. Option number 3, which doesn't have a favourite in it. It doesn't have either Wout or Mathieu van der Poel in it, which is risky, I must admit. You're going completely against what all the bookies are saying, what all the previews are saying, but previews don't equal what the best Velogames team is. Okay, so just because somebody is going to win doesn't mean you should put them on. You might get a better team combination which gets you more points by not picking the favourites. So for this example, you put on a 24 pointer. It can be either one of the 4 that you like: Matthews, Nason, Pedersen or Van Avermaet. We'll go with Van Avermaet for this example. Take off Jake Stewart, upgrade him with those 8 points that you've saved to a 22 pointer of your liking. We'll go with just Gilbert for this example. And again, 2 6-pointers that you like the look of. So the benefit of this team is that you could, if you picked the correct 4 riders at the top, you could potentially get 4 riders in the top 10, which is different to, in my eyes, the other 2 options, which are going to more than likely get you 3 in the top 10, which may not sound like much, but in this racing, in the cobbled racing, what I've noticed over the years of playing Velogames is that actually the best option is to try and get as many people in the top 10 as you can. I've definitely had occasions where I've picked the winner of a race, like I think when Terpstra won Flanders, what was it, 2018? I think I got the winner, which was Terpstra, but somebody else beat me because they didn't have Terpstra, but they overall just had better, more consistent finishes. So it's better to have, first and second seems really good, but actually it's better to get 4th, 5th, 6th and 8th overall, because you'll actually end up with about 50 more points. I guess it's a little bit more risky because you're running against going for favourites, but I think with this team format where you don't have one of the big 2 is the big risk, big reward, you could get you'll end up with the most amount of points more than likely by going with this option, but you've got to pick the right riders. So it depends on how risky you're feeling. Option number 1 is least risky, option number 2 is mildly risky, option number 3 is big risky. So, I don't really know who I'd want on my team. I'm not really too sure about Mads Pedersen, to be honest with you. I'm not sure how good he'll go on this kind of racing. Yes, he won Ghent Velgen, but I consider that to be more of a sprinter's classic. In terms of actual cobbled racing, he hasn't really seemed to have done too well. Matthews, again, kind of pulls it out of the bag for Flanders, but maybe not. Go with... And also, you don't have to go with Van Avermaet. You could actually upgrade. You could go down again. You could pick somebody else, another 22-pointer. Or you could pick 4 22-pointers if you so wanted instead. So you could go, Gilbert, Stuyven, Lampard, Pidcock, 2 6-pointers. The likelihood of all those 4 finishing in the top 10 is fairly high. Versus the first option where you have Van der Poel and Wout van Aert. If one of them, crashes, DNFs, that's a huge chunk of your budget just down the drain immediately. And all it takes is for one of those to have a bad day, and then all of a sudden you've run out of options. Whereas this, where you have 4 options rather than 3. That's just what I've learned over the years of doing this. In terms of what I'm going to pick, I'll probably end up going with option number 3. I just haven't decided which riders to go with yet. I'm kind of on the verge of quick step, like Seneschal, Sepp van Mark, Lampard, Stuyven, Van Avermaet I'm toying with, Trentin maybe, who else? Maybe Pollitt, but then the 18-pointers I'm not too keen on, maybe Søren Andersen, but just because how good he looked in Milan-San Remo, but it's difficult to say. I won't reveal who's on my team. You'll just have to follow us on Instagram and Twitter. I'll do cycling to find that out, and I'll let you know how my teams are going on those social media platforms as well. Of course, get involved in the comments section if you want to know any specific riders, if you want to share who you're thinking of picking on your team. And yeah, that's about it. Enjoy the racing. I'm going to be on holiday, so expect a lot more content over the next 10 days. I'm really looking forward to having some time off work. And yeah, of course, I'll come back to you with Ghent Velgen on Sunday. So keep your masks on, stay safe, and yeah, talk to you next time. Salut!